Hey everyone, in this video I wanted to do something a little different. I've been doing so many AI designs, I wanted to go back and do the OG way of doing designs with clip art. So I'm going to be using Canva and Affinity Designer to put this all together. I also want to show you kind of my process on where I got the idea for this and how I come about putting all these things together. So from idea, concept, to finished product and uploading it to TeePublic. We're going to cover it all in this video. Hopefully it's not too long. But I hope it just shows you kind of my process. Sometimes, I don't do this all the time, but one of my ways of doing this and figuring out what to design and how to design it. So let's get into TeePublic first, since I was designing it for this, and I'll show you kind of my process on how I find out what to design. Alright, so here I am on TeePublic, and I was here yesterday. TeePublic.com, by the way, this is where I sell one of my t-shirts, one of these top ones right here. It does really well and did really well last year, so I thought I'd still do some designs for it. If you scroll all the way down, and in fact, let's not scroll all the way down first. Let's take a look at some of these best sellers. You'll notice that they rely heavily on graphics, like really cool, most of the time hand-drawn graphics here, but sometimes it's illustrations and things, vintage. So art is really important in TeePublic. So that's good to know. And again, the artist spotlight, art, right? Hand-drawn stuff. I assume these are hand-drawn. It looks like somebody drew it. It's all very consistent and follows and this is really cool. I like this artist. And again, editor's pick. So you can see graphics play a big part in TeePublic. That's the audience, right? Yeah, sometimes there's words, but a lot of times it's just a graphic. So good to know if you're designing for TeePublic, design for the audience. But the way I got it is all the way down here in the tag directory. You might have heard me talk about this one. I'm going to click on here. And a lot of these are ones that you can't do. Well, you shouldn't do, but it's still on here. I wouldn't do something like Billie Eilish or Daredevil or whatever. But there are some things that are generic, like Class of 2025 and other stuff. In fact, I just did one. Hopefully it's still here. This changes all the time, by the way. So you can come here sometimes in the next day and it's different. And so I saw this one today, Penguins Against Authoritarian Ice Holes. Authoritarian ice holes, it's hard to say. And I noticed, so I clicked on here and there's only one page. So of course I came in and did a quick one here. This is mine, you can see, Detour Shirts. So that's how I found the other one. Now, the other one isn't trending. So I left my garage, was here yesterday. That's how fast it changed. But I'll show you, I'll type it in. I left my garage to be here. I think it said this better be good or something like that. So I'm gonna search for that. And you'll notice there's a ton of them, and the reason why I did this, one, because this is by top sellers, popular, or I think it is. Let's just do popular right now. See, so these are the popular ones, and some of them don't even say garage, some of them say game. But you can see a lot of them are just text, so I thought I'd do something different and add some graphics. There are some graphic ones. They understood as well to do that. But you want to look for only 4 pages. So I thought I'd try it. Not one page like the other one. This one had 4. But the other reason I like this one is that it's also an evergreen idea. So this can be used anytime. Has a great audience, people who love to be in the garage, tinkering, mechanics. So it's not like a trend that, it may be a trend saying, but it's not a trend topic, right? So it still can be used and make a great GIF, and only 4 pages. So I thought I'd make one. And I'm going to show you how I came up with some of the ideas. I put these 4 ideas onto my social media. If you haven't seen these already, and I'll show you how to make all of these 4. I only used one here on TeePublic, but I can use the other ones on Amazon where I can scale it. TeePublic doesn't like scaled design, so let me show you the one I came up with and used. It's probably in the newest, actually, since I put it on here. There it is. So there's mine, which is different than, hopefully different enough than some of these. I tried to do more vintage and that kind of thing. So I'll show you how to do this. This is one of the 4 that I did, and I'll go into Canva right now and show you some of the assets or some of the graphics that I got, and then I'll bring it into Affinity Designer. All right, so here I am on Canva, and these are the ones that I found. And the way I found it, of course, is I just went here, picked elements, and I typed in garage first. But of course, it's pulling up just garage stuff, right? So then, of course, look at the first one here, mechanic, and then we can see a lot of the mechanic stuff that I found. So stuff like this down here, you could use any one of these. You can see this is actually that one right there that I used for one of them. And so you can also see the magic recommends, and these had a lot other ones too. So I have this one and this one and this one. So that's how I found it. You can find a lot more here, maybe spark plugs, wrenches, even a car I think could do really well. So some that I didn't use. I mean, like this one's pretty cool right here. That one could be cool, and you could write stuff around it. So these are the ones that I used, and I'm going to show you how I took some of these and changed it up in Affinity Designer. What I'm going to do is I'm going to hit share, hit download, go to PDF standard and hit download, and I'm going to have all of these as vector files in Affinity Designer. So I'll bring up my Affinity Designer file, and I'll show you how I kind of use some of these as the background and put text around it. All right, so here we are in Affinity Designer. I just dragged in the PDF that I downloaded onto Affinity Designer, and it opened up, and you can see all of these are vectors, except you got to make sure to take away, for some reason when you download these, there's like this empty box here, so I always delete that. So you can see there's an empty box, there's an empty box. I think that's just the way that Canva does it. So then you can use some of these. So I'm going to show you the ones that I used. I used this one right here. I'm going to move it out here. I used this one right here. So I'll move this one out here. I use this one. There. Boom. And I believe I used this one. Right there. So I'm going to take these and I'm going to put it into my final. I'll show you what I did as the final, and then we're going to kind of work backwards. So I'm going to take these 4. Now, you don't have to use all of these. I mean, I could have used this one and some of these other ones. This one would have been really cool too with the car in there, but I just didn't have time. I could do 10 more if I wanted to and put them on Amazon and see which one does the best, but maybe I'll save these for later. But I only did these for right now. So I'm going to copy these. Command C. I'll show you my final here. These are the ones that are going to look like it. And I'm going to paste it in here, Command V, and just move it around so you can see. All right, so we'll start with the first one here, and I'll show you how I did this one. So this is the one that we're doing. I'm going to make an artboard. So these artboards already are, you can see 4500 by 5400. And I'll just make a copy here and show you what I did with this one. I'll just delete that one and put this one in this place. You can kind of see what I actually did. So all I did was change the text. So I'm going to show you how to erase this text and then show you how to put the text back in. So because this is vector right here, you can double click on it and kind of highlight the dots that you want to remove and just hit delete. So just take all of these out. Make sure not to highlight this dot right here. You can see that is part of that circle, but you do want to delete these dots. So double click. Whoops, see what I'm saying? Don't want to do that. So you can highlight these dots right here and these dots right here to remove. So I'm going to remove some of these. Actually, I'll leave these just so you can see how I did it. So I left my garage. What I'm going to do is create a circle right here. Just do the stroke, not the fill. And we're going to make the circle as big as this circle right here. We already have a circle that I can use as a guide right there. And just drag it so that it looks, you can kind of eyeball it, right? And then take your text tool right here and text tool, and kind of click over it there. It was hard to see. I couldn't see it the first time. And then you can start typing I left. Now you'll see it right here, and it should be white, but it's probably black by default. Great. And then move these triangles here. So I like to move the triangle to right there. You see, and then right here, and then make sure that it's centered. That this one is centered, center align, and then we can move the baseline up like that. And that feels like the right size, so you can play around with the size too. I have it at 100 point, but you just want to make sure that there's space here and here. And then I'm gonna just type in, I left my garage. Right there. So you can see it kind of fits. I could make it bigger, maybe 110. Let's try, or 120. Okay, so 120 looks right, but I have to move the baseline again. So that there's space, equal space on both sides. There you go. And I think I'm using veneer clean. If you want to use veneer, just the regular one, I like that too. So it kind of gives it some texture on it. There you go. So you would do the same thing on the bottom. I added even extra texture on here if you look at my layers. Let me show you. And I showed how to do this. You'll notice I have them all grouped, but my layer right here, my washed layer, is on there. So that just erases right here from the group. So real easy to do. All right, that's number one. You can see how fast that was. And let's do number two. Oh, I also reversed it. I don't know if I like the reverse version because this one again looks like a negative instead of a positive, but I think it could be okay. I might have to go in and change that and make it like the thing, but I think it could look good on the black. So I try to reverse each one so that I'd have two. One that works on white, in this case that one looks better, and then this one. All right, so this one right here, I left my garage to be here. This better be good. Same principle. So I'm gonna pull this over here so we can see, and I use this guy right here. So again, we can remove the things that we don't need. So I'm gonna remove the circle. This might be actually cool in a circle if you wanna keep it, but I decided not to. So I'm gonna just delete that. And let me just add another artboard right here and erase this. Boom. And put this guy here. Boom. And then I noticed that it had words here and here and bottom. So again, we can easily remove these. I'm gonna go and just go like that. We want the wrench. Real easy to do here. It can take some time though. All right, I don't know what, oh, that's just a line. Okay, good, so we got this. This is great. I'm just gonna Command G and group it so we don't lose it. And again, so now we don't have a circle as a guide, but we could just make a circle, right? Like, make one that kind of fits. If you want to like center it, you can use the guides here to kind of find the center of that and the center of that right there, and then make sure that the circle is right on. And wow, I kind of made it right on without the guide, so that's cool, kind of cool. Oh, whoops. There's the circle. Okay, so do the A on here. Make sure you got your letter and wait till it turns there. And then I can do I left, now it's white because that's what we had before. I left my garage. That, and remember these triangles help you center the thing. So I like to do the triangles here and here, and so now this is centered. And I'm using a different font here, so I'll show you what that font is. It's called, not Pathfinder, the Forgen. And there you go. And I probably made it bigger, like 100, what is it, 150 or, see, yeah, something like that. And then these were on here. I think I used, what is this? Veneer, yeah, this is veneer. So I'll just type a text here, to be, but I changed the font. You don't have to. I just liked having two different fonts, so I'm going to pick veneer here, and then I'll put it right there. So that's another reason to have the guides, is that you can put it, whoops, and then I just hold down Option and drag and copy that, Option Shift, so that it's straight, and here, right? And then I can use these rectangles right here, the rectangle tool, and just to make some rectangles, make sure that's filled with black instead of an outline. See that? Boom, boom. This is a nice technique that you can use. Option Shift drag and put it there. Now here's a good tip, is if you want the words on the bottom to be on the same path, what you can do is just click on this one and hit Command C, Command V, or just Command J. Command J will copy it in the back. You can see now I have this other one. There's two. And the way you can see the one in the back is, go back to the text tool, take these triangles and move them around to the other end. So here and here, but this is upside down now. So you want to double click on these, hit the this right here, which is reverse the text path. Boom. And now you're going to have to move the baseline all the way back out here. So there you go. And then of course change this word, these words right here to this better be good. Now that's going to be too long, so of course you're going to have to make this smaller. What is it, 100? No, you can play around with it. It was 150, 120, something like that, right? Probably a little bigger, 130. There you go. And of course I have the distress texture on this one as well. If we turn this off and on, you can see the distress texture. So really cool. And then of course I did another version, and this is the one that I used on TeePublic, is I just reversed it on black. So I have white on black here. All right, number 3. So I'm gonna just show you how to do this right here, this garage. You know how to do I left to be here with the circle technique that we saw. So let me just bring this here and bring this guy. So this is the one I used. Make sure we have the whole thing. I'm gonna group it just so we don't lose anything, and bring another artboard down and get rid of this guy. All right, here we go. Move this to the center, like that. And then for this one, you're gonna wanna use a font that is kind of straight. I think that works the best, and I'll show you why. So we come in here, I'm gonna type in a word here, garage. Now we could use this one. You could use any one, but I like one that's wider, because you can see garage right here doesn't look that great. So I'm gonna pick a font that's wider, and I think I use Nexa Rust, yeah, this one right here. And I'm just gonna pull this out to the sides right there. I know it doesn't look great right now, but we wanna kind of center it to there, and we got some guides here. Good. All right, so what we're gonna do, and this whole thing isn't centered. I could have, wait a minute, that's not the center line, is it? No, that's not. There we go, so that's the centered line. And okay, now we got it centered, great. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna use the text effects, or the warp tool here, layer, warp group, and I'm gonna do mesh right here, mesh. And so, wait, no, mesh was wrong. So I'm gonna go here, warp group and quad. Yeah, quad is the one. Let's zoom in just a little bit. Use my white arrow tool. Click on it, and then you can drag this up to where it needs to be. And then it does another one on the bottom, so you can drag it here. Sometimes it takes some, I had to click on it a couple of times. But what you'll notice is you'll have some of these, but it looks like it's moving both of them. So what you want to do is click this right here, which is crisp or cusp. And now these move independently. So I can move it down like this and then move this guy up like this. And we're just following the line. See that? It's real easy. Follow that line. The reason I want to do this is I think it gives it interest. We're going to have to do the same thing for this one. Cusp and then up like this. I think this is cool. It kind of draws the eye to this word here because it's so different. It's not on a straight path. Our eyes want to just look at it and see what is this word here, and doesn't. So there we go. Very easy to do. And then, of course, draw your circle, put the text around the circle, and so on. So that's how you do that one. It's really easy. I think this is a great technique if you have this shape or make this shape. You can easily make this shape as well if you did, you know, like a rectangle here, converted this to curves, and then click on this as well, and you could easily make a shape like this, right? And make sure that the stroke's bigger. Boom. Super easy. So, all right, last one. This one right here, you'll notice that I changed a lot of different things on this one. So I'm gonna bring our last design here, which almost doesn't even look like the same thing. I'm gonna take this off. Boop. Oh, I didn't group these. I'm gonna Command G, group it, and bring it here. Okay. And I can center this too if I did. I'm gonna exit out, make sure that it's in the artboard, Command V, and then make sure that it's centered there. So there you go. You already know how to do this. Some of the things that I changed though is I used this star out here, and I double clicked on it and I just hit Option, drag, you know, to make the star here, or Option, drag, whoops. Option, drag, and make it bigger, right? And then you saw this right here. I just made this bigger like that, and then hold down Option and drag, and then flipped it, right? And then star, star, star. So you can just bring the stars out like that. The one other thing I want to show you is this right here, to be here. It has a slight arc, and I didn't show that, so I'm gonna just type this here. To be here, and this one I'm using a slab serif, so I'm gonna go and pick it. It's Superstar M54. I'm gonna make it as big as I want here, but you notice by default it's straight, but it looks like this has a little bit of a curve, and so for that, again, I'm using the warp group, but I'm using arc horizontal, and by default it gives you a 25% curve, but you can come in here, change the value to just be a slight curve like that, right? And then of course, make your circle, put this around a circle, do your stars right here. I'm gonna show you real quick how I did these stars. So I'll put this one up here, right there. Option, Shift, drag, turn it a little bit to kind of match. Option, Shift, drag, turn it a little bit kind of match. Now once you get these two on the left to the place that you want, you can just take these, Option, Shift, drag it this way, and then flip it, and then that way you don't have to figure out where the other ones go. So there, kind of cool. I kind of spaced them out more on this one, but that's the basic idea. There you go. So once you have all of these the way you want with everything on it and things, I'm going to show you how to export this. So I'm going to come in here. I'm going to remove the background right here. It's a black background. Make sure that it's transparent. I know you can't see it, but it's there. I'll hit Command Shift Option S or export. Let's export. You can go to File and Export. Make sure that it's selection only and hit Export. And then change it to whatever you need. I already changed mine, so you'll save, but I'm gonna cancel here. And I like to put this back to black when I do it. So I'm gonna show you the file, and then show you that how to put it into TeePublic and everything. Okay, real fast on TeePublic, all you do is hit Upload Art, get that PNG that you saved, drag it in here. I'm not going to save this because I already have it, but I'll show you how it works. Now you're going to want to, in your design title and your main tag, to use that tag that we just found. So in my case, I'm going to do I left my garage to be here. And you might want to go the extra mile and say this better be good as well. This better be good, just for SEO on here. And you can do this too. I left my garage, and it should complete here, this better. So I think that's as far as it goes. So that's the one I'm going to choose. And then it should come up with some other ones. In the description, you can just do whatever. This great vintage design for mechanics that left their garage or whatever, right? You can put that in. And supporting tags, you're gonna do, maybe want to do garage, mechanic. You can also do that I left my garage. You got some of these. Maybe these would work. To be here, auto mechanics, and so on. Make sure that, and you can, funny mechanics, great. I would do vintage since that's my style, whatever style yours is in. You can do that. And then hit no for mature content. And then I just pick, you know, whatever colors you want. Black, I think, is great. Asphalt could be really cool too. And then you can see maybe you want things on dark, so it already knew that. And then you can kind of check what colors it works on. Make sure to fill out all of these, as well as this right here. If this hat is the wrong one, you can make sure that it's on a black hat, not a white hat. There, this black one right there works. I don't know why it's defaulting to that one. Oh, default color black, there you go. And then just check all of these, and then make sure I read agreed and hit publish. I'm not going to do it because I already did it, but look how cool that looks like on a hat. That's really neat. And on the sticker, I would do die cut with background, yeah, because it needs that background to work. And this on the pin looks pretty cool. That's a nice thing about circle designs, is that it works really well on pins and mugs. I wish they did the two mug things here, like this could be on the front and the back. They don't have that option. I recently saw that Redbubble has that, which is really cool. And you can come in here, this might be too big, so check all your products to make sure that it's the right size on here. And when you're done with that, hit publish and you're good. So that's from idea, design, and all the way to finished product. So there you go, that's the full video. Hopefully this is really helpful for you, so you can see if you're kind of stuck and not know what to design. You can go into TeePublic and figure that out. You can use the tags and find one that's, I would try to find one that's smaller or has less pages, less competition, and you can look at the competition and see if you can compete in that. If there's so many really good designs out there already, maybe look for another one. But this one actually only had a lot of text ones, so I knew that if I did something different, it could compete. Well, I guess if something has a lot of non-text designs, your text designs would stand out. So just take a look, see how you can be different and stand out, and look for things that are more evergreen, like that penguins one in the beginning. Not necessarily evergreen, but it's a trend. If you want to chase trends, you can try that as well. Now, this isn't a guarantee that you'll make sales, but I think this does help you if you're kind of stuck and don't know what to design. At least the data is telling you that people are creating these shirts and hopefully buying these as well. So thanks again for watching. If you want to see another video to help you with layouts, I did this video right here with 25 more layouts. And it can show you kind of where to put the text and the graphics and all of that, and just make a cool one. And those were found on TeePublic, so hopefully those are really helpful too. And as always, guys, keep creating and keep learning. I'll see you on the next one.